Flight attendants going to training, you're just going to have to make a choice. You're just going to have to decide that you are going to training to be a flight attendant, and that's it. And I'm thinking about this because whenever I see, especially on any social media, flight attendants going to training, some of the responses are, what should I pack? What am I to expect? I'm afraid to go. And what was crazy is I didn't think that. I did not think any of that. I was not afraid to go to flight attendant training. I was excited. And in our brains, I read something that said in our brains, fear and excitement are the same thing. It is not until we tell our brain I'm excited or I'm fearful that our brain will begin to form the evidence of that being true, that you are fearful or you are excited. And I was excited because I knew what was going to happen after I was a flight attendant. So I knew going to training was just a part of it. It wasn't a fear of, geez, I'm going to training and this may not work out, and then I won't be able to travel and live my life as a flight attendant. That was never the story in my mind. So really, I was starting from a place of, I'm excited to go and complete training. Was there excitement? Yes. Was I ever thinking about what I was going to bring? Not really. I knew what to pack. And it was almost like going away to a business camp. But here's the other thing. Whatever you don't have, you can buy, you can borrow, someone can send it to you. So that thought of, I don't know if I will have everything. It's not that I never thought of that. I was so excited to start training. And there wasn't the fear of, I'm going to training, but what if I don't make it? That was never a thought. I was never coming back. I was going to training and I was going to be successful, and then I was going to get on the line, and then I was going to travel the world, and then I was going to start this life. But I wasn't looking at being a flight attendant as just a job. Of course, it is a job. It is how people create their entire lives. This is how people purchase their homes, investment properties, use their income from flying or from aviation to start new companies, to put their children through college. This is people's way of life. And I saw that for me, but what I saw, which was heavier, which had more wealth, which had more of an open door, was the world. Me being able to travel the world? Absolutely. There's nothing that's going to keep me from that. So training was very focused. There was nothing in my mind but me being successful. Because when you take that extra pressure off, you really leave the room to just be successful. It's not something that I was ever going into with the expectation of failure or not coming out a flight attendant. And I was that focused. And that's what it will take for training to be benefit to you. Not if I don't make it, I may not retain the information. What will I do? You're going in to become a successful flight attendant. That is it. What happens in the in-between is how well you adapt and learn. And here's the other thing. Being a flight attendant, aviation as a whole, but specifically being a flight attendant, is all about adaptation. If you put it into the larger concept of life, adaptation is how you live. Because observation, you just see something and then you may think of, well, let's say you see a fire. Am I going to say, why is the fire there? How did the fire start? Is this fire going to hurt me? Or am I going to choose and adapt and run away from the fire or fight the fire or call someone to help me? the adaptation, and that starts in training, learning to adapt. It can feel stressful in training because you feel like you're being watched. Really, you're being put in the best scenario for what it's like to be on the line. Your day, you don't have like normal, I get up at 6 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday, and I take the same route and I work with the same people at the same destination for the same amount of time in the same environments. You don't. That is done. So even preparation for, am I prepared? I want to be prepared. How can I be more prepared? Be prepared not to be prepared, especially in training. Be prepared to adapt, and adaptation is a skill. It's a skill to adapt, because the opposite may just be I am reacting, but adapting is solving. So when you go into training, know that you are going in successful. And that even starts with your interview. And this is important because there was no time that I thought I am not going to be hired. I always had the thought of course I'm going to be hired. I am an asset. They need me. I feel ready. My outfit is ready. My skin is ready. My spirit is ready. This is for me. I'm really the shining light that you need. Not, will they pick me? I hope they picked me. They didn't pick. There was no way they weren't going to, but I was so sure of that. And that sureness will create the space where you have the alarm, so you're on time, you allow enough time, you're prepared, and that knowingness takes away from any sort of percentage of this isn't for me. This isn't mine. It's an incredible career, and it's an incredible space to learn how to be a human being, because you have to adapt to everything. But when you are going into training as a flight attendant, the point is to be successful. Start with that. Are you unaware of how it's going to work? Of course, sure. That's okay. That's acceptable. There's nothing negative about that. There's nothing wrong about that. There's everything right about that. But looking towards that in a space of, I'm going to do this, I don't know what it entails, but I'm excited. I'm not going back home. I'm not going back to my regular life. I'm not going back to what was before. And I will do what it takes, especially in training, because there's no way for you to know. If you knew, it's not that you would be afraid, but there's no skill to learn it until you're in it, until you're on the line, until you're in these different scenarios, until you're around different people regularly, until you're getting up at different times, until you're immediately given the resources for the skills. So you are successful, but it is that belief before you go into flight attendant training with any carrier that you are successful and you will make it. There is no other way. You're born for this. The moment that you said, yes, I'm going for this, means that it is for you. Start flight attendant training in that way. Start looking at yourself as a flight attendant. Start looking at yourself as successful, and start understanding that the discomfort is there, but that doesn't mean that you won't be successful. Because the goal is to be in the skies. So go to the skies, go to training, be successful, get your butt in the air. It's that easy. There you go. This has been helpful. Leave something in the comments about how you feel about training, because you will crush it, but I'm not with the whole, here's the other thing. I'm going to be very honest. When you know, you know. And even with the interview, if someone likes you and your answers and your energy, your hoops aren't going to say, you know what, we're not going to hire her. You carry that confidence with you. And thinking about the small things, listen, pick the shirt that you know that you're going to love to wear. You want to look business casual. You want to look like you're going into work at a corporate environment. Corporate often means boring. This isn't the time to showcase your love for bright colors, which I love. I love a bright color, or animal prints. This is the time where you're the CEO. You are in a blue pantsuit or a blue skirt suit with a wonderful white button-down ironed shirt or light blue shirt. You are a CEO. You are working in a beautiful office building. You don't need the 6-inch stilettos. Those are for the layover. Those are for the people that you meet on the layover and you come back and see later. For the interview, a great heel is between a kitten heel, 1.5 to 2.25. You don't need to flaunt the socates. Just a beautiful office shoe, a kitten heel, beautiful hosiery, beautiful manicured nails, a beautiful red, a beautiful French manicure, beautiful nude. All of the accoutrements, all of the extras is for after you have completed flight attendant training. You want to look like the most beautiful CEO, and that's for male or female. Beautiful skin, beautiful studs. Go to Claire's and get you some cubic zirconias. Just beautiful studs. If you don't want to do a pearl, you want to look like the beautiful CEO because you are. You are the CEO that's about to be contracted to live a life and jump around the world with ease. But it takes you knowing and believing before you go into a space where you're trying to convince. I'm not convincing. I already am. That's why I fly high in the sky and look beautiful and have all of these stories. And I know, because this is it. This has been helpful. This is exactly what you need. Take this. Again, any other comments about training, about the interview, leave it in the comments and let's continue to converse. I know this will be helpful for any flight attendant, but this is a space where all flight attendants really are uplifted because as many spaces as we have, there's a lot of creators. I'm on another side because I'm like a veteran flight attendant who I still love flying. Flying is still in me. Aviation is still a part of my heart in another sense, but I know I was on reserve without a car. I was based internationally. I then came back and I was a line holder. Then I was a commuter, not a real commuter though, because my commuter was 20 minutes. I was based in 5 different bases. I have all this experience and I can say it because I am no longer with the company. So no actions can be taken against me for my colorful stories, but I have it to share and I like to share it. And I'm building this community of flight attendants, travel enthusiasts, people who just want to hear, aviation people who can uplift and share their stories and laugh together and say, hey, I have a vacation home in Palermo, someone could say there. That's the community that I've always wanted to build. And just from my time as a flight attendant, we love to help each other out and share tips. This is what my channel is for. So let's go. Let's fly high. What is your favorite aircraft? What is your dream aircraft? Now, wait a minute before I go. I do have a dream aircraft, but my favorite aircraft to always work on is the 777, the Boeing 777. Let me know the favorite aircraft that you like to work on, and I'll see you in the next video.